Hey, so what I got this time in Undertale wise is what I understand what the plot is behind it. Like the entire history of, well, not the entire history, because sure enough, there are loopholes that there are holes that I don't know about, and some have been filled in by other YouTubers. Might put them down in the in section below or not. I also have some music to play in the background that coincidentally is also named the game that it is. So, Undertale first started monsters and humans living peacefully on the surface. They were all good together until, for some reason, the humans decided monsters should be exterminated, so they sent the monsters sent them off to underground in a big, after the results of a big battle. They were all sealed down there with a barrier that only that a monster with their monster soul and a human soul could go through, or 7 human souls that could break the entire the barrier itself. However, monster souls do not survive quite well, and even if they do, even the most powerful monster souls can't last a long time outside after being destroyed. So, there was pretty much no way they could get out. Eventually, time came on that a human fell down into the underground from Mount Ebott, and I'm not sure. This human was named Kara, or Chara, depending on what you want to call her. Asriel, the son of the king, Asgore, and Toriel, his wife, befriended the human, and they became friends. Then one day, the human then got sick, and and died, basically. As a request from the human, a last request, Asriel took the human soul and could cross through the barrier and took the human's body with them. Asriel took the human's Kara's body to the surface and took it in and placed it on a bed of flowers. The humans there thought that Asriel had killed the human, and it killed him as a result. He managed to make it back down to the underground. Not sure how he carried himself along, but he managed to get back to the castle, which you can see on the picture here, from a nice starry view, even though technically they're underground, so you can't see the stars. So then, as in anger, Asgore declared a rule that all humans must be killed. And what he did, as over time, 6 more humans fell down into the underground, and their hearts were taken by Asgore and placed underground with him in his castle. He only had 1 more soul. He could have just taken 1 soul and went up to take 6 more souls, but instead, I'm not sure why, but he stayed down below because he was cowardice and ended up keeping souls. Out of sadness and grief, Toriel banished herself from the kingdom and hid in the ruins. And as she grew homesick, she decided to create a house perfectly mimicked that she used to live in. Except for a few key features under it, like after you go down the stairs and the entrance, which is inside the castle itself. As time went on, Asgore asked the head scientist, I'm trying to remember the name, hold on, asked Alphys to find a way that monsters could have their determination so they could survive longer, and essentially break the barrier that way. So as Alphys tried figuring out what set apart the human souls from monster souls, and as time went on, Alphys found that a element, which she called determination, allowed the human to survive long enough that out of the body long enough that the human could be reborn down there. However, technically that doesn't actually work in real life, but keep in mind that this is a cool fantasy world, so hey, Toby Fox decided to do that? He did it. Anyways, Alphys tried inserting the determination factor into monsters, dead monsters, to see if they could come back. But instead they turned into algamites, horrible hybrid combinations of the monsters they used to, essentially becoming mutants. They were essentially in the case, they would become monsters. So, they instead stayed inside Alphys's bigger, darker lab. Meanwhile, the 8th human to fall down had finally fallen down. According to the storyline, this human was named Frisk, though this is where the player comes in. The player controls Frisk. Frisk then meets Flowey, who through in one of Alphys's experiments decided to experiment determination on an inanimate object, on a golden flower in King Asgord's garden. Not sure why he had a garden or anything, but the flower took up Azrael's soul, and as a result, they ended up fusing the flower with the soul, and Flowey was born. Flowey had an interesting ability. Flowey had enough determination from his hybrid soul, and he was just enough human in a way that he could reset worlds, so he could meddle with people as he pleased, and even humans. However, when the 8th human fell down, he found out that he couldn't because the human soul was so determined, more determined than his, that he couldn't reset. The player could reset, but he couldn't. So, overall, Flowey was intrigued by the Frisk, the human, because Frisk never ceased to surprise Flowey because he couldn't really test with her through a whole bunch of resets. As the human went through the ruins, Flowey decided to meddle with the human, and decided to try to exterminate the human to find out what made them more determined than Flowey. But Toriel came along and saved this last human, tried to keep the human safe from any extermination, from the extermination order that King Asgore gave. The human eventually left after much pleading with Toriel, and left to Snowdin. Because Toriel was so sad and lonely down there, she didn't have much except the door that would lead to the rest of the underground. She started a long conversation with a skeleton named Sans, who was who she didn't really know much until a point that Sans and Papyrus, 2 skeletons who become main parts in the story, moved. And because they moved, Toriel never really knew them, but since they started guarding the Snowdin section that they do in the game, Toriel decided to snatch up a conversation with Sans. Now, Sans used to be part of a group of scientists in the underground, and through those experiments, he ended up becoming really lazy, but he could see the timelines. But also because of this, he could also easily exterminate humans about faster than any other character about. So, as a result, eventually Toriel had Sans make a promise that he would take care of any human that came through those doors. Sure enough, the human came through. Sans took this to realize that this was a human that he needed to keep safe, and did. Papyrus is Sans' brother. He, at least we've heard that they're brothers. We're not, it's not exactly known if they were. I'm not sure if it was confirmed or not, but we'll just say that they're brothers for this. Papyrus wants to be part of the Royal Guard, which watches out for humans as part of Asgore's order. As part of King Asgore's order that he gave. He wants to be head of the Royal Guard, however that is Undyne's position. But he does want to be in part of the Royal Guard. In order to get into the Royal Guard, however, you have to capture a human. Papyrus is rather hard at doing that. Was kind of hard at capturing humans. Because as it went along, his uniqueness and his love for the human grew so much that he couldn't bring himself to fully commit the human. As when that if you battle Papyrus enough that he eventually gives up battling you, then the human proceeded along to to the waterfall section of the world, of the underground. There, the human first met Undyne. Now, Undyne, well, according to an AU, Undyne lost her eye in a bout with Asgore. Not sure how she lost her eye in the original AU. So, regardless, Undyne decided to battle the human because, hey, she's rather hardcore on wanting to take humans in, and plus she's the captain of the Royal Guard, so she must have carried several humans to Asgore for their ultimate extermination, for several souls. But eventually, the human showed mercy multiple times in front of Undyne. One was with Monster Kid, who is this other shape with Frisk the human, looking at the castle. Another one was when... Another part was when Undyne crossed into the Hotlands, and because Undyne looks like a fish, and she has the characteristics of a fish, so she can't really survive well in hot places. So Frisk the human gets water for Undyne and manages to give water and befriend Undyne. And the human Alphys is watching this a lot of the time and wants to help the human out, and to some extent she does. However, the robot she created, Mettaton, has some anti-human filters that Alphys didn't have time to shut down. So as the human travels through Hotlands, the Mettaton, the robot, meddles a lot with Frisk, and in an eventual battle that they have right at the core, Mettaton battles the human, but the human lets the Mettaton go, and the human proceeds along. The human eventually comes to the Judgment Hall, where Sans judges if the human has done what they are, and Sans talks to the human and judges if they have been good or bad, and they mention quite a few things. So he explains that XP and love are acronyms. XP stands for execution points, and love stands for level of violence. He judges you, the human, by their XP, the player's XP. If you have no XP, Sans skips his judgment, instead giving praise for the protagonist for embracing compassion and actively choosing to be merciful to the monsters throughout their journey. He reinforces the idea that the protagonist's actions shall decide the fate of the world in one of two ways. The protagonist either lets Asgore take their soul and allow monsters to break the barrier, or they take Asgore's soul and escape the barrier themselves. Sans concludes that the protagonist now has enough determination and believes that they can do the right thing before leaving. If the protagonist has gained XP, Sans allows them a moment to think about their actions. He then emphasizes the importance of integrity, and if Papyrus is alive, concludes whatever happens next is up to the protagonist. If the protagonist kills Papyrus, Sans expresses his suspicion that they have some special power. He then asks if the protagonist thinks it is their responsibility to do the right thing. Regardless of their answer, Sans reminds the protagonist of his late brother and leaves. However, so the human then proceeds on to meet Asgore. Here's an interesting hint. If you keep the butterscotch pie up until now, if you use it in battle, it decreases the damage you receive from Asgore. You think you can mercy the Asgore, but he destroys the mercy button, so you can't the mercy options, so you cannot mercy him. As a result, you have to kill him. But don't worry, it all works out in the end. If you haven't seen it before. While they were battling, Flowey manages to comes and obtains the 6 human hearts and intends to take Frisk's heart. Ends up becoming known as Omega Flowey, or others call it Photoshop Flowey. The human battles Omega Flowey long enough that eventually the hearts rebel and escape to far corners of the earth and helps Frisk escape. The human then can show Frisk can then show mercy to Flowey by either exterminating him there and then, but if they want to go on the true pacifist route, they end up giving a lot of mercy. They end up keeping mercy on Flowey. Flowey, not understanding this, you'll later realize why, decides to run away. Because Flowey can actually move around. Because in one of notations that Alphys made, the flower that she inserted determination into has disappeared. The human then later reclaims their save file, meets with Alphys, goes through more, partially resets the world, and meets with Alphys again. Once again, claiming their trust and going into the true lab, where the human meets the Algamites. The Frisk then meets with them, mercies them, and then shows Alphys the human helps Alphys understand that she must seek the truth and not keep them down underground for so long. So as a result, Alphys takes them back home, and I'm not sure how, but as Frisk goes into the elevator, because they have partially reset the world, Asgore is back, and he hasn't been killed. You immediately go directly to it. Sans having control of the timeline doesn't stop you in Judgment Hall, like last time. And you end up battling against Asgore. However, Toriel intervenes after banishing herself for a long time. She ends up telling Asgore, everyone comes, Flowey then comes. He also can see the timelines. Now there are 3 people who can see the timelines: Sans, the player, and Flowey. And as a result, Flowey comes, takes both the 6 hearts, and absorbs every single soul, becoming, in a result, a giant, super powerful being that the human cannot stop. Flowey then, as a result, turns into Azrael once again by claiming all these souls, and meddles with the human, still acting as Flowey, which shows you a bit. As the battle goes on, Flowey decides to stop meddling with the human and focuses to stop the human from doing pretty much anything. At the end, the human realizes that they can't save themselves, but they can save others. Reaching out, you faintly recover. You go out and recover Azrael Dreamer's Azrael thing. So here we go. Hold on. Meddling with them. This is what Azrael says to the human. You know, I don't care about destroying this world anymore. After I defeat you and gain total control over the timelines, I just want to reset everything. All your progress, everyone's memories, I'll bring them all back to 0. Then we can do everything all over again. And you know what the best part of all this is? You'll do it. And then you lose to me again, and again, and again, because you want a happy ending. Because you love your friends. Because you'll never give up. Isn't that delicious? Your determination, the power that lets you get this far, it's gonna be your downfall. Now, enough messing around. It's time to purge this timeline once and for all. After results, you start feeling a soul fainting resolution as you save your friends from Azrael, and eventually you realize there's one soul left to save. It's Azrael himself. You then start saving the person. So then you save them the first time. This is repeated lots of times. Huh? What are you doing? What do you do? What is this feeling? What's happening to me? No, I don't need anyone. Stop it! Get away from me! Do you hear me? I'll tear you apart! Do you know why I'm doing this? Why I keep you around? I'm doing this because you're special. You're the only one that understands me. You're the only one who's any fun to play with anymore. No, that's just not it. I'm doing this because I care about you. I care about you more than anyone else. I'm not ready for this to end. I'm not ready for you to leave. I'm not ready to say goodbye to someone like you again. So please, stop doing this. And just let me win! Stop it! Stop it now! I'm so alone. So afraid. What happened was when Azrael's soul, because it was a hybrid, never really happened before, formed with the flower to become Flowey. Flowey became soulless because essentially the hybrid allowed the transfer, but the soul didn't stay. Instead, Flowey became soulless. As a result, Flowey could not feel feelings, and as a result, they had lost a lot of their power. Now, if you take the true path, you then, Azrael then decides to let everyone's, after the battle, Azrael comes out and says, "I'm so sorry. I always was a crybaby, wasn't I? I know. You're not actually, are you? You, the player's name has been gone for a long time. What is your name? Frisk? That's a nice name. Frisk, I haven't felt like this for a very long time. As a flower, I was soulless. I lacked the power to love other people. However, with everyone's souls inside me, not only have I my own compassion back, but I can feel every other monster's as well. They all care about each other so much, and I care about you too, Frisk. I wish I could tell you how everyone feels about you. Papyrus, Sans, Undyne, Alphys, Toriel. Monsters are weird. Even though they barely know you, it feels like they all really love you. Frisk, I understand if you can forgive me. I understand if you hate me. I acted so strange and horrible. I hurt you. I hurt so many people. Friends, family, bystanders. There's no excuse for what I've done. What? Frisk, come on. You're gonna make me cry again. Besides, even if you do forgive me, I can't keep the souls inside of me. The least I can do is return them. But first, there's something I have to do. Right now, I can feel everyone's hearts beating as one. They're all burning with the same desire. With everyone's power, with everyone's determination, it's time for monsters to finally go free. Azrael then uses all the power of the souls and launches them all out. And it uses the power of all the souls, the 6 human souls and all the monster souls, to break the barrier. With all the souls gone and essentially Azrael being soulless at the moment, this is what he says. Frisk, I have to go now. Without the power of everyone's souls, I can't keep maintaining this form. In a little while, I'll turn back into a flower. I'll stop being myself. I'll stop being able to feel love again. So Frisk, it's best if you care, just forget about me, okay? Just go be with the people who love you. If you go and comfort Azrael, I don't want to let go. Frisk, you're going to do a great job, okay? No matter what you do. Everyone will be there for you, okay? Well, my time is running out. Goodbye. By the way, Frisk, take care of Mom and Dad for me, okay? So, from this point, if you happen to go all the way back, if you go back all the way back to the last section, you can actually, meet her again, and, let me find it. He then tells you, they basically inform you about what happened, to them, and why they adopted the kill or be killed. Then from there, you then go to the surface and everyone lives happily. So, hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please be sure to give a like. Subscribe for more when I do other things like this, though this isn't frequently. I do video gaming more than this, but this is a video game, so until again, have fun.